Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to another one of my Death Battle prediction videos. So we're finally at the halfway point for Season 7. After this one, they're going to be taking a break for a few weeks and then coming back with another 10 episodes for Season 7. And once again, I am actually able to do a prediction for this one. It's a fight that I can do a prediction for, which I always love when I can do that. And I've been able to do it a lot this season so far, which is really awesome. And this is the fourth time they're bringing a DC character into this season, so it's 4 DC characters in 10 episodes, which seems a little excessive. I definitely can understand why some people are getting a little frustrated with the constant Marvel versus DC fights and just a lot of characters from the same universe coming back from Marvel and DC. I know this isn't a Marvel versus DC fight, but still. Regardless, though, I can appreciate it. Like, again, Marvel and DC is kind of my stuff. That's what I really like to read and watch and everything like that. So, of course, I really like Marvel and DC coming back as much. Even if a lot of other people don't like it, I can definitely roll with it. Regardless, though, getting onto this fight in particular, we have Wonder Woman coming back for a second time, so this is her third time on Death Battle, versus She-Ra. And this is a really interesting fight for me, just because I really like the concept of it at face value. Like, you have two characters which are, really intelligent, strategists and fighters. They have a lot of similar abilities in some areas. For me, I feel like they kind of fit, like, the same roles of their universes, or, like, similar roles, and they're both just really badass warriors. I really like the idea of this fight at face value, and both of these characters are really cool, at least in my opinion. In terms of my biases with these characters, like I said before, I really like Marvel and DC. If you've watched the channel before to any extent, you already know that. So of course, I love Marvel, I love DC, and I love all their characters. And with the 80s cartoons, like stuff like Masters of the Universe and everything like that, and like Thundercats, I can definitely appreciate that stuff. I've seen some of that stuff, and a lot of it is, really cool for its time and really funny and everything like that. But I don't know, it just, I didn't grow up in that time, so I don't really, have a strong attachment to that kind of stuff. And I know comics, started even earlier than that, but, besides the point. I'm, Marvel and DC comics. So, again, I like Marvel and DC in general more than those 80s cartoons and stuff like that, so obviously I'm a big superhero guy. In terms of these characters in particular, I like Wonder Woman. I don't love her. I don't love her to the extent that a lot of other people love her. Although I do understand why people really like her, because, she's really badass. She's a really awesome character. In terms of She-Ra, though, I like She-Ra as much, if not more, than He-Man. So, there's that going for me, I guess. I do like She-Ra as a character quite a lot, and I like a lot of the unique abilities that she has, which we'll get into later in this video, of course. But again, regardless of any biases that I have for any series over any other series, or any character over any other character, we're just going to look at the facts, and, I'm going to try my best to come up with some sort of argument for a character for winning. And if I'm wrong, then, whatever. It's just a Death Battle prediction, whatever. So yeah, talking about this one, I'm going to start by saying who I think is going to win, and then I'm going to go into why, and everything like that, because I think it's just easier for me to say who I think is going to win for this kind of battle, and you'll see why. But yeah, so in terms of who I think is going to win, I'm a little worried, because I think that Wonder Woman would win this fight, but every fiber of my being is telling me that She-Ra's gonna win. And it's not because I actually think that She-Ra would win the fight. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing huge for She-Ra and He-Man and other characters of that world, that they can do some crazy things. And you guys can enlighten me on that, of course. I definitely know more about DC. But based on the research that I've done and based on everything that I know about these characters, I do think that Wonder Woman's gonna win. But every fiber of my being is telling me that She-Ra's gonna win, just because so many DC characters have won in a row so much. And I'm not saying that Death Battle's gonna, say, they're not gonna give DC the win when they really deserve it, because DC is winning so much. But I know that sometimes the way that they place the fights, or they do the order of a fight, in a season or whatever, they do the order of the fights, I know that can change based on that. And to give an example, I believe one time they said that they were originally going to be doing Booster Gold versus Cable in Season 6, but DC was having such a massive winning streak that they were replacing it with Ghost Rider versus Lobo, where they at least thought that Marvel was going to have a better chance of beating DC, because they knew that Booster Gold was just going to annihilate Cable. So yeah, in terms of the ordering of the fights, that can definitely change based on, how many characters have won, or how many series characters have won in a row or not, based on that stuff. So, it's kind of like when you do, a multiple choice question, or, you have a multiple choice test, and you get, 5 C's in a row, and you're thinking, well, one of these has got to be wrong, you know what I mean? It seems odd that a lot of this is happening all at once. I do think that Wonder Woman would win, but I don't know. It makes me think, it makes me really, I know DC characters are strong. I know that. Everyone knows that at this point. But still, I don't know. A lot of DC characters have been winning recently. But then again, I think they've had like longer streaks before, and that didn't stop Death Battle from just doing that. And Street Fighter, like, I think basically all of their losses, except for like one of them, came between Blanka beating Pikachu and Ryu beating Jin. All of the losses fell in between that, or almost all of the losses fell in between those fights. So, obviously maybe the whole ordering thing isn't as important as I think it is. And every single time this season, and I think or like almost every single time since like the end of season 5, the times I've gotten a death battle prediction wrong are because I go against the DC character. So yeah, and I have gone for the DC characters too, and I've gotten it right, but, and this is like, I think, almost all of the fights ever since Season 5, when I've gotten it wrong. So, yeah, I'm just going with what I think. Again, maybe She-Ra does win, and if she does, I'd actually kind of like to see a DC character lose for once. But regardless, based on what I know, and based on the research that I've done, I think that Wonder Woman's going to win. And let me get into why, finally. So in terms of strength, Death Battle kind of did the work for us a little bit for Wonder Woman, because, in terms of strength, she was able to help Martian Manhunter and Superman pull the Earth out of its orbit. The Earth weighs 6.6 sextillion tons, but to move it out of orbit, that's 1,000th of the mass. So that's 6.6 quintillion tons, and because she moved a third of it, probably, that's 2.2 quintillion tons that she can move and or lift. Cool? Cool. And then in terms of She-Ra, I think it's fair to scale her to He-Man and what he can do. I don't think it's very fair to say that she's stronger, because I think a lot of the physical feats come from He-Man. But I do think it's fair to say that she can at least approach his level of strength, speed, and durability, and all of that, all of those physical capabilities and everything like that. At least for the benefit of this video, I'm going to go with that. Maybe Death Battle can say that she's even stronger or she's weaker, but I'm going to go with that, just for the benefit of this video. So in terms of what He-Man can do in terms of strength, I believe him pushing the moon out of orbit is supposed to be one of his higher end strength feats. He might have something that's technically a little stronger, but I don't think it'd be by too much. Regardless though, Death Battle calculated in He-Man vs. Lion-O that moon that he pushed out would be about like 70 quintillion metric tons, which is about 81 quintillion US tons, which is the ton unit that Death Battle always uses. And again, because he moved out of orbit, dividing it by 1,000, so that's 81 quadrillion tons that he was able to push. Now again, this is a scaling feat. Like, I don't believe we've seen She-Ra do this, like push a moon out of its orbit, Although it did seem like He-Man was having significantly less trouble pushing that moon than Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, and Superman did when pulling the planet. Maybe, maybe not, at least that's how I kind of read it. But regardless, that still means that Wonder Woman is about 27 times stronger than He-Man. And again, I don't see She-Ra being able to go past that kind of strength, at least not very easily. And then you have the fact that Wonder Woman was able to fight Superman. Like, she's fought Superman a ton of times. She's defeated Superman before and defeated characters on his tier in terms of, like, strength and stuff like that. She was actually able to hold her own against Superman when he was mind-controlled on at least 2 separate occasions. So, when you look at it like that, that means basically a bloodlusted Superman, thanks to mind control, fought Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman was still able to hold her own. And that's really scary to think about, So she's been able to, overpower Planet Busters and characters in that tier group. So in terms of power output, I at least think she'd be approaching the planetary level range, at least. And again, with She-Ra, like, if you really want to use the time where He-Man fought Superman, like, again, you could theoretically pull a string on that and say She-Ra should be able to match that kind of strength, but at very least, Wonder Woman has had way more experience fighting characters to that level. Because I'm one of those people who thinks that, just because you fought Superman one time does not mean that in a death battle you should have that kind of durability, versus Superman's strength, because you really need supporting evidence for that. But when it comes to Wonder Woman, of course she's fought characters like that over and over and over again. There's more than enough supporting evidence to show for that, whereas with She-Ra, you have one feat that is technically He-Man's feat, so it's one feat without supporting evidence that is technically a scaled feat. So regardless, I think it's pretty safe to say that Wonder Woman has the advantage in terms of physical pure brute strength, unless I'm missing something really big, like much bigger for He-Man or even She-Ra. So yeah, there's that. In terms of speed, again, this is pretty easy for Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman has, what was it? She blocked all of the shattered god pieces coming at her, like, at many times the speed of light. So that puts her, I think, at like 1,000 times the speed of light at bare minimum. She was also able to keep up with a casual running Flash. And Martian Manhunter even said that she might be almost as fast as him. And I think that's a little much. But regardless, I still think, she's one of those DC characters that's like ridiculously fast in terms of reaction speed and flight speed. And Death Battle, said that Booster Gold, like, they scaled Booster Gold to Flash. So if they did that with Booster Gold, I definitely think they should be doing that with Wonder Woman, especially since she's a far more popular DC character who has probably more feats like that scale to Flash. And yes, Booster Gold did tap into the Speed Force, but Wonder Woman technically did that once too, so I think that definitely holds up, that she's in that realm in terms of speedsters, that kind of like unmatched speed, quote unquote. And then, she was able to fight Zoom. She was able to tag Zoom, even though Zoom was like time traveling around her. So that's insane as well. And then in terms of She-Ra, again, I could be missing something big, but I definitely don't think she or even He-Man has anything that could put them in that kind of ridiculous speed margin. Like, again, just looking at some of He-Man's feats that Death Battle mentioned, like he was able to run around, run in water so fast he was able to create a vacuum. He was able to spin around so fast that he was able to muster enough force to dig down to the center of the earth. Not all at once, but still, regardless, being able to dig down, that's still extremely impressive. And, either of them might have some feats that if you want to go like their higher end feats, they could be going at the speed of light or sometimes the speed of light. But it's, again, even if they're fast enough to keep up with Wonder Woman, which I really don't think they are anyway, but even if they are, Wonder Woman still definitely has a lot more experience using that kind of fighting speed in combat. So regardless, I still think, again, it's safe to say that Wonder Woman has the speed advantage unless I'm missing something really big. Again, maybe there's something from like the comics that He-Man and She-Ra are in that she does something extremely impressive, or he does something extremely impressive. But again, just by experience alone, I think that Wonder Woman has that advantage. And then you have durability, which is a little odd, because I personally think that Death Battle lowballed Wonder Woman's durability in Thor vs. Wonder Woman, and they actually lowballed a lot of stuff in that video for both characters. They tried to say that Wonder Woman didn't have planetary level durability, and I at least think that she should be approaching planetary level durability, again, based on the character that she's been able to fight, and again, based on Superman not holding back against her, she's able to take those kinds of punches. So, and again, like characters like Doomsday and Darkseid and other ridiculously strong characters. And for those of you guys that don't know, in order to destroy the Earth, you need like 53 or 54 sextillion tons of TNT, or 53 or 54 zetatons of TNT in order to be able to do. And in case you're not familiar with the units and stuff, you have tons, which is tons. You have kilotons, which is 1,000 of that. You have megatons, which is millions. Gigatons, which is billions. Teratons, which is trillions. Petatons, which is quadrillions. Exatons, which is quintillions. And then zetatons, which is sextillions, as I said before. And they tried to cap Wonder Woman at 2 petatons, or 2 quadrillion tons of TNT. And I do think that's a little low for her. Although, again, we're trying to predict what Death Battle is going to say, not necessarily what we believe, So that's a little iffy there, at least for me it is. But again, just going with that, with She-Ra, this is one that I think could be argued to be a lot closer than Strength and Speed, because she's one of those characters that's supposed to have near invulnerability to, like, any kind of impact force. She's one of those characters like Wonder Woman. But again, I don't think she has the feats to stand up to Wonder Woman in that way. And again, I don't think that She-Ra would be much more durable than she is strong. And again, if you want to use the moon feat for her, being able to like stand up to characters that could push a moon like that, I don't, again, like, with Wonder Woman being able to stand up to characters that can move planets and break planets, again, to me, that just puts her on another level, if you want to take those feats more so than just their classification, like, near invulnerability or whatever, or anything like that. And Wonder Woman is weak to piercing weapons, which She-Ra does have, so we'll get into that a little later. But, regardless, just in terms of general durability and general strength and general speed, I think Wonder Woman has the advantage. And even if you can find find anything that puts, She-Ra in the same tier group as Wonder Woman, or at the same level exactly, or even a little surpassing Wonder Woman. When Wonder Woman takes off those bracelets, her power and her strength, speed, and durability increase immensely. So any sort of saving grace that She-Ra might have, as soon as Wonder Woman takes off those bracelets, I feel like it's game over in those categories. So just want to throw that out there as well. But I want to give She-Ra the benefit of the doubt. Let's take a look at what she's got. She undoubtedly has the versatility advantage, because her sword of protection can literally turn into anything she wants, like any weapon she wants, and she's used this a ton of times, and even like just random tools she's been able to transform it into as well. And it's weird saying Wonder Woman doesn't have the versatility advantage, because she has a lot going for her as well. She has her unbreakable bracelet, she has her lasso of truth, or unbreakable lasso of truth, and then she can also summon, a shield and a sword, like freaking pull it out of the bracelets or whatever, so there's that. But regardless, just by numbers alone, She-Ra definitely has the versatility advantage by being able to, turn her sword into basically whatever she wants. Like, she can make whatever Diana has and more, basically. So there's that going for her, And then she also has her communication with animals, through telepathy, and she's also, I'm assuming because they had Cringer for He-Man vs. Lion, they're probably gonna include Swiftwind, is that what it's called, or something? But yeah, the winged horse that she has, I'm sure that's going to be there too. So I think she has the versatility advantage. And again, she has a sword, so that could exploit Diana's weakness, but there's a catch. Not only is Diana so fast that I think that she's going to land more hits on She-Ra with her sword than the other way around, but her sword can slice, at a microscopic level. It can literally split atoms. And I don't care how invulnerable you want to say that She-Ra is, or if she has, equal durability to Wonder Woman, whatever feat you pull out, unless it says that she has durability down to the microscopic level, she is not going to be able to withstand getting cut by that sword. Like, that's just going to slice her open, There's nothing she can defend against that. So really, She-Ra having a piercing weapon doesn't give her a leg up. It more so puts her on even playing field, as they both have swords that can definitely cut the other, although Wonder Woman has a sword that most likely has cutting potential to a greater degree of effectiveness, and she's faster, so she's going to be landing more hits with that sword anyway. So there's that. And I could keep going into the other categories, like you have intelligence and fighting ability and experience. Like Wonder Woman is 3,000 years old. She's been claimed, like Batman claimed that she's like probably the best fighter on the planet. So, there's that. With DC, there's a ton of amazing fighters. So in terms of that, she probably has small advantages there too, but not to the same extent in terms of strength, speed, and durability. Again, I could be missing something. I keep saying that because, I tried doing my research for She-Ra and Wonder Woman, tried finding the best feats. If there are feats that put She-Ra at the same level of Wonder Woman, I just haven't found them. So that's just me. I want to hear what you guys have to say, and I'm really nervous because, again, every fiber in my being is telling me that DC is not going to win yet again. But based on the facts, based on, my integrity as a versus debater, I have to go with what I think and what I'm finding. So I'm going with Wonder Woman for this one. I'd like to see a DC character lose for once, even though I really like DC, but I do think that Wonder Woman's going to win. If you have anything that could prove why She-Ra, could win, or if you really think that She-Ra's going to win, which is perfectly fine, I'm sure you have your reasoning, tell me down in the comments below, because I really like to hear what you have to say. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a huge like. I always appreciate the likes. Comment down below what you want to comment. If you could subscribe, that'd be great too, but no matter what you do, your view is plenty of contribution. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'm excited for the death battle, excited for the mid-season finale. But that's it for me. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.